We'll call this meeting with Commissioner Court or one of these right. This time I'd like to call on Commissioner Kincannon to give the invocation.
Pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, for just allowing us to start another day, Lord, to be here for you. I pray, Lord, that you continue to be with us today as we're taking care of county matters, and help us do that in the most effective way possible for you and for the citizens of the county, Lord. Also, thank you, Lord, for with the whole COVID deal. It seems like it's just moving on further past us, and I give thanks for that, Lord. I keep praying, Lord, for all of our families that are still have faced that challenge, Lord. Continue to be with us as we make the right decision, Lord. Through your Son, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, Texas.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Take your seats, please. This time, we're going to get this done today.
The stars, the planets have aligned.
They actually told us today.
Lacey, could I ask you to come on up, please? You want to come with her, or? Have you had an all-night shift tonight before you got here?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for doing this. I had sent word, I'd be willing to come out and give it to you when you was on.
That's okay.
All right. Presented to Lacey Watkins, Woodshop County, Employee of the Month, May 2021. In appreciation for your outstanding performance, service, and dedication to Wichita County.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Anything you want to say?
Just want to say that I'm very grateful for receiving this award, and I look forward to progressing in my career for the future.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Lieutenant, anything for you, sir?
Let me take your picture.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Judge, get in there. Everybody unmask.
Hold, unmask and hold your mouth.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Myers.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
We're gonna have a whole generation of people that have ears.
It'll be better than that taxi cab look.
That's right, you're right.
Oh, this is not gonna work. It's Kayla. There she is. All right. Come on up, young lady. Hey, Commissioner Beecham. Yep. I'll let you do that.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Well, Kayla, this is a certificate of appreciation to certify that you have spent 15 years of dedicated service to Wichita County. So I want to take this minute to brag. I'm going to read the entirety, but Kayla just recently finished her degree plan. She now has her degree in health science with a minor in psychology. So if you wonder why I go over there all the time, I'm getting free advice. So I need a lot. I need all the help I can get. So she runs an extremely good department. Since she's taken over the Indigent Health Department, we've reduced the staff by 2 and streamlined that whole operation. It is a completely different operation than it was 4 years ago. I just can't say enough good things about you, Kayla.
Thank you.
I appreciate your dedicated service to Wichita County.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Because it's kicking him out of your office.
Yes, definitely too many times.
Hey, let me put you in the middle.
Okay.
Those,
Yep, over here.
those 2 thorns.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a rose, is it?
For just a minute,
Wine's your film there, Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't forget the wine. Lick your light button or a flash bulb.
Okay, now we're talking. And don't forget my appointment for.
Kayla, good job. Thank you.
We need to get her one of those old Lucy, you know,
Yeah,
peanut
doctor's
sign.
in.
Doctor's in, doctors, yeah. Most people in this room don't even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well, did you see there's a thing about Nicole Kidney that's gonna play Lucille Ball in a movie? I don't have time to not picture.
I'm not seeing that, but,
Yeah, it was
you
a
know,
flash in the paper. All right. Okay. This time we're taking any public comments. We opened at 10:06 and no comments, so we'll close. So. Okay. I ask that the board take consideration of the consent agenda.
Judge, I'd like to move item 9 to the regular agenda, please.
Okay.
Judge, on item 11,
Yes, sir.
on this memorandum of understanding with Texas Forest Service and SAG, we can't ever brag enough on having those guys in the county. They have really, really stepped up and done us a great job helping these fire departments. But now, wouldn't our emergency management folks be the ones that would do that? I don't even understand.
They're adding them,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
It's putting them in.
so just additional.
But county has to sponsor them.
Okay, I thought we were going in a different direction. I thought that was I understand. Very
And
good.
Chris Bashford is a deputy?
Yes.
On item 7, which is motion to approve Justice Peace Clerk to spend an extra night in Gorham, Texas, that conference adjourns at noon on Friday.
Yeah, the request was for her traveling before, and Judge, we did a little reviewing, and that travel before is July 5th is a travel date, so I won't be asking for that extra night, so.
Yeah, she should travel by our policy. She should travel, because she can't be there, she have to get in the middle of the night to be there by 9 o'clock to register, start classes.
Judge, I think the natives call that Bernie.
Burning, yeah.
They'll correct you if you say that wrong.
Well, see, it was born in Switzerland when I was there.
Okay.
My doctor, who spells her name, is Origa born.
Okay.
And I'm losing anywhere I go.
No, I think the natives say Bernie.
Yeah, I think they do.
They'll straighten
I
you
know
out
they
on
do.
that, so.
At any rate, the policy, since she's getting out before, 2 o'clock, it would be an exception to policy if that were approved for her to spend the additional night there.
That was, the night was for the before, so the additional night for staying late wasn't, so the class, what I was thinking was getting her there before class started that morning. That 5th is the travel date.
Yes.
And the class is actually the 6th and the 7th, so there's no additional
So just remove the
request that needed.
Oh, okay, thank you.
That was just for the.
Judge, question on number 8, when we approve those plans, how soon are we gonna advertise for bids? Mark, you may
As
be.
soon as she gets the plans drawn up.
Are we wanna include our parking lot project with that, or do that separate, or we need to get that done at the same time, get it wrapped up?
We can do that with
Just-
our
yeah.
staff.
We could have done that for the last 10 years.
Well, we should have, then we'd get on it, and then we'd get off on another project.
But
and-
I don't think should do that with our staff, should we?
I think that's a little more intricate. It's gotta be, that section's gotta be cut out.
Yeah, I think we need somebody to do it,
I
but
think, Mark, it may have to have that pumped down in it. I know the football stadium cavity on us, and, it's the way that thing was built, pretty high right there. I think it's washed underneath, and
And
it's,
you're worried about it being pumped in, that our people can't do it?
yeah, it's just,
Well, we don't have the pump to do local fill or something.
For concrete?
yeah.
Well, nobody does. I mean, it costs you $600 to $800 a day to have a pump truck come out. That's just a service.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to pump it, because if you cut that out, and then you go in there, and what the city does frequently right across the street, the places, they put flowable fill in there, then it self-hardens.
And then
you come
just
back to
finish the
concrete.
top.
But won't you cut out a pretty good size, portion over that area and?
Correct.
The last time I
And then you
looked
come
at
back to
it,
concrete above that.
the last time I looked at it, and I hadn't looked at it in a while, but I will again, it really wasn't that big. I'm talking about maybe a
Parking
3-foot
place, yeah.
deal. And what it is where the crack in the retaining wall, or not crack, but the joint in the retaining wall, it started getting water on top and it washed the sand out that crack. And you could see it there. I mean, we're not talking about anything as big as this table or anything. So we could just go in there and cut a hole in it and run some pretty thin concrete in it, fill it up, and then finish the top off and be good. I don't know, but that'd be an option. But I just wanna get it fixed while we're doing all this. Get it
I
off.
think we'd be better off cutting that one parking place out,
And we
opening it up
could.
and see what's there before.
Just
we
have to let somebody look at it. I mean, I don't do that.
Does it,
We need to get it done.
is there any, body that can shoot that and see if there's other cavities, or are we able to, you think, once we open it, can we see?
There's about 3 expansion joints along that wall, and when that one washed out, I went and checked the others, and they were fine. I don't know why that one did that. Apparently, it probably had some kind of a tar fill or a expansion unit in there, and it went away and just let it, once it starts washing, you know, it just takes it out of there. But we ought to inspect them all while we're there. I think it's the only spot, but, yeah, we ought to look at it and see.
They could come back in with a caulk and fill.
Yeah, and fill that crack in where it won't, or put some gravel right next to it, that might do it, to keep it washed down. I just don't want it to fall off the radar, and let's get it done while we're getting that fixed up.
All right, but that quite doesn't need a separate.
Yeah,
plan,
I wouldn't think so. All right, good deal. I think everything else, did we get I guess we got everything
So,
agreed upon. Those last changes look pretty good, that we looked at, the way they changed, just a couple little minor. Well, they added that door on that break room, which is why,
And they took that one
Judge
door
Johnson
off.
I haven't
asked for that.
seen those, did y'all get a
Yeah, I've
second
got a
copy?
copy of it.
yeah, they're pretty
Jim.
much, it's adding one door and taking one door away.
That's
is pretty
basically
much
right,
it, So,
yeah. And we are gonna get the service window for the,
the service window.
which I think will
built
be a
in.
really good idea, so, okay, very good.
So, motion to approve consent agenda with moving item 7, or removing item 7 and moving item 9 into general business.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries back. Lieutenant, y'all are welcome to stay. You don't have to stay.
I was instructed to stay, I already told her she wants to stay.
Oh, okay.
See
You
how
more
it's
welcome.
done.
I've never been here, so.
Okay, I hope we don't bore you.
It gets a little boring, but more people need to come all the time.
That's true, that's true.
Thanks, sir. Have a good day.
All right. Item number 1, review and approve the regular bills for payment.
Motion to approve.
Second,
There's still a bunch of them.
there's still a big stack.
Any comments on the bills? Okay. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 2 is discuss here to take action to approve 3 quotes for air conditioning repairs on the second floor of Wichita County Annex. Commissioner Beecham.
Yeah, I had 3 quotes for that air conditioner, ranging from $7,052 to down to the cost of $5,120. I would recommend that we accept James Lane's low bid at $5,120.
And what was that, Mark, I mean, what was the needed repair, since,
The unit's out completely.
and it wasn't replaced during our Amoresco?
No, we had a lot of units that were not replaced, so.
Any additional comments? Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor of the motion to approve the bid from James Lane at $5,120 for the replacement air conditioner, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 3 is discuss here and take action to approve Time Clock Plus quote number 508812 for remote data terminals, support and maintenance for precinct barns 1 through 4 in the amount of $1,623.43 each to be paid from funds 221, 222, 223, and 224 with specific lines determined by the county auditor. Matt, do you have anything additional to add to that?
No, sir. These are pretty much just the basic time clock portals, and it'll allow them to connect in, and anyone else, if they're installed at a precinct barn that has other staff, will be able to use this as well.
Judge, this is gonna make our system work a lot better for us, I think, and we're not, you know, there'll be a few days when we'll still have to do it remotely, but this will cover a bunch of it, and really, I'm not big on spending a bunch of money, but if you amortize this out over the next 5 years, it's a pretty reasonable cost, and I think it's gonna make the system work so much better, so I certainly, did you have a motion, or?
I have a quick question to Matt. How does how does it work? Do they just punch a code in there at the terminal?
Yes, sir. They press their employee number in. It's just like doing it on the web or anything like that. They just clock in.
So does that terminal stay live all the time?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
To internet?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's, you know, the internet's been one of, if the internet's down at that point where you go to type in, will it save that data? And then as soon as the internet comes back up, it'll clock you in at what time you did?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because that would be if it didn't get your information, if your internet was down, because we tend to have more internet problems out in the precincts. That was my question. So it'll store the data and click it back on when it comes up.
I'm
Okay.
so glad this is the most basic unit, because as George knows, that's right up my alley. It's basic. It's very, very basic. Does it have a crank on the side? Most basic, that's important.
Mr. Crutchfield had a comment.
Judge, if the, I'm assuming they're gonna need internet access from what's been said?
Yes,
So they're gonna need a drop installed at the barn locations.
Will it be a separate from what we already have there?
It'll be in addition to drop, because the drops that are in place now are pretty much one for one for what the equipment is there. There are no extra drops, at the precinct barns for the most part.
Will it take any additional hardware besides just installing the drop? The
No, sir.
router or whatever that'll handle has capacity.
There's already, network gear there. There's just wherever y'all want them installed, there'll need to be a line ran to that place.
And literally ours. I don't know about the others, but ours will be right next to the computer where we're trying to use now, so
Be
it,
very close,
Okay.
be pretty close.
Same here.
Not gonna put a splitter.
If I can get Matt, you can send me the information on the
Yes, sir.
device, I can look and see. Some of them will allow you to have one hooked up and then got an additional port where you can run another piece of gear off of it. I don't know if these do that or not. Our IP phones allow that.
Well, they're gonna be on the location.
Can they plug into like a break room phone, George, and pick up service that way?
They should be able to, if there's a break room phone available, yes.
Well, now, okay, we're mixing phones.
Well,
and-
our phone out there is a voice over IP,
Yeah.
so it's carrying the internet.
The phones have an additional port on them.
Okay,
So you can actually, we do this in a lot of places, you have your phone, IP phone, and your computer actually plugs into your phone instead of plugging into another wall jack. And any IP-based piece of equipment can do that.
okay. So in this, should we add into that the cost of any installation requirements?
Yes, sir, I'd appreciate that if you would.
I'm assuming there shouldn't be much installation. Anything needed on there. I heard that. Wouldn't they?
Do all of you want that, because the way this is, each of you can get it on this order, or you can come back later, or you can have it approved but not approved. But we're gonna order this order all at once.
Yeah, I think just go ahead, Judge, and do them all at one time.
Well, okay.
And then we can get if George thinks Wichita's gotta come out and do some drops or whatever for us, we can get
Okay.
that quote.
I need, okay, you want one, I gather. Three wants one, I believe.
Yes.
Two, one, okay. Because when this was talked about, when Matt gave this report and staff reports,
There was some
Yeah,
unsurety.
I was,
Okay.
but we might as well,
Okay.
have it.
All on the same page.
Okay, could I have a motion then?
Motion approved.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Beecham, second by Commissioner Finnegan, to approve the item as stated with the modification plus cost of installation as necessary. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried 5-0. Item 4 is discuss, consider and take action to approve an all-glass quote in the amount of $6,028 to replace 2 windows in the second and third floors of the Wichita County Annex. Commissioner Beecham?
Yeah, these are the 2 windows that are over the alleyway. The second floor window has been broken. Not exactly sure how it was broken. I have an idea, but it's broken nonetheless. The third story window is a residential style window with a wood frame it's aluminum frame, sorry. It does not lock, it opens up readily. It needs to be replaced to a commercial style window. So I'd asked Bob Yo to reach out to all the glass company. This is the only response I've got. It was for the $6,028 for all glass, and that's to reframe.
And I guess they have to bring a lift in somehow.
They have to bring a lift. This example of the framing that they'll
Yeah,
put in.
now that was nice, it looked pretty heavy duty.
That second story window is an old steel frame that's rusted out. They'll have to cut it out and leave it where it's stubbed in and then use the anodized aluminum to frame around it. So that's leads to some of the expense. So they need to be replaced, especially the ones broke out.
Yeah.
But I don't want to leave the third story window like it is if we're doing windows.
No,
So.
no, it's a good time to do it right there.
So that'd be my motion to approve.
What about any, okay, the ones that face, Scott Street?
I have a bullet hole that I can stick my finger through in one of the windows. I've asked several questions if that can be fixed. I haven't got an answer yet, but I want to get those reglazed. Or,
That can be done inside.
I think that can be done. I think that window can be repaired.
Okay. All right.
But I haven't got a good answer yet. But yeah, you can stick your finger through the bullet hole.
I told them those appraisals were too high. Okay. Can we have a motion? Can we have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Mark, and Judge, on that, I've got a question too. The third floor, windows that are in the front of the building, how long before we can address those? When will they come up and they leak real bad?
That's what we're just talking about.
They're
Well,
talking
no,
about
these are back of the building.
Oh, back of the building.
The
Yeah.
back of the building?
in the alley?
Don't you say these 2 windows that we're replacing are in the back of the
They're in the
building?
back of the building, yeah.
But I'm talking about the one in front of the building. So you get off the elevator and you
Yeah.
turn right and walk to the
Yeah,
wall.
Looking at how to fix those right now. That's
Okay.
what it's been.
Willie had mentioned to me, and I just happened to be there one day, it was raining, and I noticed it puddling pretty good, coming around them facing.
That's what he was saying, they need to be reglazed.
Yeah, they need to be reglazed and re-caulked and
Okay.
everything.
So we might could fix what we
I
got.
think we can fix what we got,
Okay.
but I don't have a definitive answer on that
Okay.
yet, so.
Any other comments anymore? Okay. Motion by Commissioner Beecham, second by Commissioner Watts. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried 5-0. Item 5 is discuss, consider, take action to approve will and electric quote to add lighting and miscellaneous power to the exterior and other interior locations at a cost of $26,589 to be paid from LEC bond funds. Commissioner Beaton?
Yes, Judge, one of the things that we discovered early on, once everything was up and operational with the LEC, was there were areas on the building that were not lit up as well as they should be. This agenda item takes that into account and fixes all those deficient areas. So we do that while Willen's still on site.
Good.
So that'd be my motion to approve.
Is it second?
Second. There appears to be just a small amount of money left in the jail fund. We
You
have,
that confused my travel
that's,
expense.
yeah.
Any other comments on this item? Yes, sir.
Is that gonna light up the junction box so it can be seen in broad daylight?
Which junction? Oh,
That is quite a crooked piece they put in there, I noticed.
I'm sorry, my apologies.
It's like having flashing lights on a big tractor. You can't see that, but you can see that little flashing light. Something not right about that.
All in favor of the motion by Commissioner Beecham, second by Commissioner Finnegan, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, opposed. Motion carried 5-0. Item 6, receive monthly investment report from Mr. Hampton, County Treasurer.
Well, you gentlemen had a chance over the weekend to look at the spreadsheet at the end of May. Is there any questions on that and how it compared to May of this year? In 2020 as opposed to? Well then, if you don't have any questions, let me just quickly give you, we're about $1 million ahead as far as general fund monies, which is a 3% increase trailing 12 months. And that's not bad.
Well, and that, just to speak to that point, that we reduced the tax rate for this year. So that million is not like we had raised taxes, more about that's been due to good spending patterns and should keep it in line, so simple with that.
Yeah. And then I did a little more math just to impact you guys, and the Precinct Funds, which is on page 2, actually page 3 of 10, that turned out to be about $300,000 ahead of where we were last year. That's a 6% increase. So
I didn't notice anybody else's, but I was happier with mine.
and of course TSG is, thanks to Matt and his crew, gives me a kind of a snapshot every day of where we are on precinct money. So the balances are relative to that Tyler mess, or Tyler program, shall we say. Anyway, Commissioner Finnegan mentioned the jail bond fund. That we spent $68,644,000 at the end of May, and this morning's balance, because we've already spent some additional monies out of that, we've got a balance right now of $3.6 million. So I gave you a little copy of what I deal with every day. The 10-year Treasury is 1.4%. That's on this sheet right here. Just keep you guys in the groove on this. 10-year Treasury. It doesn't matter anyway. Chinese own 80% of our treasuries, which our knees ought to be knocking on this. I got accused of being a conspiracy. What's that word, Woody? Anyway, for a Marine is kind of challenging. But anyway, our greatest problem is global warming.
That's our money bar.
That's gonna put me back in my drinking days. That keeps that kind of conversation. Anyway, the best government bond out there right now is a farm federal credit bond, which is something that we can invest in if we wanted to, and I'm not. Yeah, but a 7-year piece of paper right now pays 0.95. And just as you'd say, well, what's the rest of your colleagues doing? Most of my colleagues are knee-deep in pools, and we don't have any money in pool other than the one general fund pool, which the which the state pays money into, which doesn't pay us to close it. But it pays right now 1 basis point. That's 0.01. 1 basis point. So that's pretty scary. Okay, Commissioner Watts asked about our indebtedness. We will pay on September towards our bond fund $2.5 million, and we pay that annually, right at $3.8 million annually. And we'll pay that until 2047. So be sure and send me a note on that. 2047 comes up, will you?
That's one you might want to note in the checkbook when you write that check.
Yeah. I want to be there at the burning of the note paper. Yeah. 2045. Yeah. Good luck, Bob. That's our bond indebtedness. Okay. Now we borrowed $4 million from Texoma Community Credit, and we paid them a little over $1 million on January the 1st, which we will pay them January 1st for the next 3 years. That'll go out to 2024.
And that's about $1 million a year, Bob?
A little over $1 million a year. Of course, their interest is about somewhere around $38,000. Really great, 1.95. John really gave us a good deal on that. He's a good man. Okay, and then our Wells Fargo that we tried to get out of, and I don't want to bring up any old tapes, but remember what I said. All right. Actually, that baby will rock on until 2025. We're paying $605,837 in September also, and we owe about another $1.5 million on that.
And that
So
was
those three items are our biggest.
that was that tax note, right? The Wells Fargo one?
Yeah, that's that 404 paper. All right, gentlemen, any questions on any of these?
Just so someone don't, you gave the balance for what's left in the LAC fund,
Yes, sir.
and then you mentioned a large payment. Those don't come out of the same fund.
They do not. That's
Somebody's looking at it, oh my God, no, it's
two,
those
those
are separate.
two standalone deals.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't borrow money and pay government back its money. There's a name for that, but we have to pay it out of our INS fund.
Well, Bob, what is, when on the sheet you give us for the jail bond, there's a cash balance on the front, and then there's a subtotal on the back. Do I have to deduct something?
The cash balance fund is the actual assets still under what I call so-called investment. They're at American National Bank, which, by the way, they've been over backwards. In case I drop dead tomorrow, I hope that you guys will continue to support American National Bank, because they have been very loyal to Wichita County. That balance, Commissioner, represents the monies we still have on hand as of the end of May. Now, the balance on the back, that subtotal, or grand total, is what we've spent at the end of May. So in other words, whoever did your investing, created you a little over $2 million. And,
So do we have 3.69 on hand or
and with
4.3 on hand?
I'm sorry?
We have available to spend 4.3 or 3.6?
Well, available right now is 3.6.
Okay,
That's the end of the month, end of May.
okay.
Yeah, you guys have already been pretty vigorous in June. So we've shrunk it still further, but I want to give you, as Commissioner Fincannon has already pointed out, these monies can only be spent on LEC, so.
Judge, can I add that?
Yes, sir.
So we have another 2.2 million that will be paid to the Gates Liticon project to finish out that agreement with them.
Right.
For the OC and then whatever other associated costs we haven't covered. And then on the Tyler fund, we have quite a bit of money left over. There will be a contract coming to, an addendum to the contract with Tyler. So we did not convert over all 30 years of TSG. We've only converted over 7 plus current. So Cheryl saved us $90,000 with the contract, and we've been able to roll, that's including the train days that we've been able to roll it into and all that to save the county that money.
Yeah, we're gonna come out ahead if she keeps saving money.
That would be the goal.
Well, so you
Archie.
said, Matt, 2.2 still got to come out of this number, so that knocks us to 1.6 or 1.4.
And then the 20 cents that was approved today, and then whatever other associated costs.
So we're kind of getting on down to the wire.
We should.
Yeah, that's,
And Commissioner and Ms. Ramsey have gone through that several times, trying to make sure, and there's gonna be a few things, but we're caught in that delicate balance of trying to spend the exact amount
not overspend.
and not overspend, but also not come out underspent, because that money has to either be used for that or remain in the interest and sinking fund.
Yeah, those are qualified dollars. You can't spend them for anything else.
We'll be going out for bids on a roadway lighting package too. to address
Around there?
Around the perimeter lighting. That'll be an expense that I'm aware of.
Did I understand you to say back when we were talking about our precinct funds there that if we got income on those funds less than 1%, basically, is what I heard you say. Is that correct? Isn't that what
Yeah,
you're
they are, majority of them are less than 1%.
Yeah, and I also heard this last
But we're
week,
6% ahead of where we were last year.
we have decided that we've got 5% inflation.
Yeah.
Those two numbers, if you will pencil on them a little bit, worry me a whole lot more than climate change. A whole lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is where we gotta do the talking, you know, instead of, we gotta get together and everybody works together, not a gotcha type of deal. Any other
We
questions?
appreciate your
Thank you.
diligence in this.
Thank you very much, and very thankful to Major Willie Wall.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Bob.
All right. Before we go that, we moved item 9 down, which is motion to authorize county judge to sign post-sale subsequent action document to correct the date on the loan, I'm sorry, to a date on the loan number 6594042-20. Commissioner Beecham, you asked for that.
Yeah, I have a conflict of interest since I'm on the board of directors, so I need to abstain from voting on that.
Okay, very good, thank you. So I did have a motion to, and a second to approve that item number 9.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Yeah. Second.
Thank you. Okay. Any comments or questions by you on that item? Okay, motion by Commissioner Finnegan, second by Commissioner Watts to approve the item as stated with the notation that Commissioner Beecham abstained. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. 0 and 1 abstention. Now, receive, item number 7, receive an update on law enforcement center and elevator projects. Commissioner Beecham.
Today's likely the biggest day of the entire project. Jail commission should be arriving as we speak.
They're here.
Next, they're here?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the next 2 days will be fingers crossed that we've got everything ready to go. Took a lot of hours on the phone last Thursday and Friday and wrapped everything up. And just excited that they're here.
We'll do good.
We'll hope for good news.
Yeah.
I think we're in good shape. I don't see anything out there that could potentially derail us at this point.
Maybe the blue doors.
What's that?
Maybe the blue doors. Maybe the blue doors. I was just
Blue
giving you a hard
doors.
time.
Smoky back with a 60% humidity is a little bit of a concern because it takes longer to evac air with the high humidity. So
Well, it's supposed to be 100 in a day or two. Maybe that'll,
Yeah.
we'll wait till the,
Well, yeah, but I thought we were doing great over the weekend and then it rained last night.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh,
but hopefully everything is in line like it's supposed to be, like the initial test have proven. So we should be in good shape.
But at least it's not like the days before the jail commission come in and it rained and we're worried about where the leaks are going to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, if they came on a rainy day, that would
Pretty soon, we won't, that's not gonna be one of your worries.
Yeah. So that's the last major hurdle in that project. We can zip it up and move in. Elevator projects, we can't get those done fast enough. Between last week, the annex elevator being down when the appraisal district started their hearings and had to deal with getting that back operational, and come in this morning and both elevators here are down.
And I left out of here Friday night about 6 on those and they were fine, but those going down.
Well, I got stuck in the annex elevator, so I had to pull the door open. So
they're fixed out here now, he said.
they are fixed out here good. We can't get them done fast enough, so hopefully we'll get that annex elevator delivered when it's supposed to be in late July, early August, and we can get that wrapped up, so.
What's the proposed start date on the major elevator renovation here?
As soon as we wrap up the one at the annex,
So pretty quick.
yeah, we need to finish final plans for what we're doing with the first floor. I just kind of signed off on the schematic, and we'll bring that to Commissioner's Court.
Is, Mark, how will that affect the lobby there as far as traffic comes through there? Will we be able to, or can we enter through the records? Can we work
It
off of that?
will affect the lobby a little bit. The way I have it envisioned right now is a stairway going down the old sheriff's office. From there over to the south elevator, we'll box that in, and no one will be able to get that way. But the rest of the lobby should be open for business.
So we won't come through the back door no more for a
No,
while?
not during the project, unless you want to walk through the construction.
Right.
We don't, but aren't we going to change the door there on the north side, on the east side north entrance?
Yeah, IT, yeah, we'll change that door and the back door to card in, card out, bump alarm, so.
Yeah.
so you can get in and out of the building during off hours.
George, do we need to do anything, do you think, to, that should be secure, but I'm just thinking, considering the servers and things you've got in a room in that area, whether we need to beef that?
The only thing I can think of, Judge, is, the outside door has the vent in it, which might be behind, could fit through it if I kicked it out. And then the inside door to the server room itself, has a big pane of glass in it. Our goal is right now is to get the majority of the equipment that's in there up on the second floor, just as soon as we possibly can. Because that lifts it above the floodplain and gets us on the new backup generator.
Right.
So we'll just work to get that expedited, but if we could get a solid door on that middle office that actually goes into the server section of the workroom, that would be nice. But other than that, well, the server room itself's got a big glass.
Is there glass on each side of that door?
There is,
So we're not gaining a lot.
that's true, yeah.
We just need to get the server,
Need to get
everything we can up on the second floor.
And is Tracy's room now, are you secure, Tracy?
We are not, they were here, I thought they were gonna be here last week to get finished up, but they had, whatever they ordered didn't come, or it was the wrong thing, so they were ordering something else.
Yeah, I saw the camera, the doorbell camera, whatever.
Yeah, I saw
I
that.
think the locks themselves, something was wonky about that, but they're supposed to be coming, so.
We're
they'll-
making
they'll-
progress.
We are, and they'll be secure back there.
It was a keypad issue.
Keypad, okay.
Yeah,
Not a wonky issue.
not a wonky issue.
So, Tracy, Deb can see who's there or what's going on if she can pull.
When you step up there and ring the bell, then it triggers it in our office, it rings the bell and it comes up on the
Okay.
on the screen.
Cool.
Okay. So that's everything there then. Nothing on item number 8 on disaster-related issues, anyone?
Just update on my building, and Nancy's reporting limited FEMA reimbursement. We're gonna get some, but it's limited as to what, none of the building stuff qualified actually, did it?
No.
Nothing on category B qualified.
Unless they change that, I don't think they're going to at this point.
Category C is yet to come.
But we think we're gonna get some on C.
Could, yeah.
Okay, we're down to county officials, anyone in the audience? Yes, ma'am, Ms. Copeland.
I do have a question to Mark, when y'all blocked that off for the elevator project, you know, where you said you're gonna let us in that other door if you have a key, is that gate gonna be open? Because they shut that gate right there at the end of that hallway, and I'm sure you won't have this elevator and us being able to come through that back door done before election time.
Yeah,
So,
we'll make whatever arrangements we need to make at that
we
time.
gotta be able to get in.
Yeah, if that's gonna be our egress, then we'll probably do that.
You know, we can get in the door, but I don't have a key.
Yeah.
Well, I have keys to the one gate, but it never works. Just something to think about.
Why is there a gate on that hall down there? I mean, what's the,
In the old days, the courthouse was left open for people to come in and try to bomb somebody out.
oh,
It also became the overnight place to stay. If the restroom was crowded, then any corner would do.
You know, because on the big stairs here, there's that gate too. And again, my key's supposed to work that, but you have to stand on your head nearly to get it turned off.
Back in the 80s, we used to run people out of there all the time.
just getting into the one place or something?
They did. It was a good place to sleep. They didn't have to go very far to get arrested. They'd walk in drunk and go out there and get them and walk them right on in. You think I'm joking, but Billy Bristol, Lee Wayne Green, Donnell Green, They live there.
They
That
knew
was-
where to come.
That was their address.
They spend all their motel money at the bar. Yeah. All right, anyone else? Yes, sir, Mr. Crutchfield.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Y'all probably heard there's an email issue. I would have much rather had prior planning and prior notification before we did an upgrade. Email server is, it'll be 5 years old next month, same as the SQL server that y'all approved this morning, I hope. But, what happened was we noticed that we have a device called the data code. It archives all incoming, outgoing email. We noticed that that wasn't taking place. Called the data code support folks on Friday. They said the reason it wasn't doing it was because there's a problem with the certificate between the data code and the Exchange server, and what that does is encrypt the data between the two devices. And working to correct that, we ran into some other issues. We're not able to do the upgrade because Microsoft's recommendation was just to run the next cumulative update for Exchange. So when we attempted to do that, it didn't recognize that it was an Exchange server. So we spun up another Exchange server Friday afternoon and started migrating mailboxes over to that, and we're continuing to do that. We're in the process of that. Takes a little while because, you know, a lot of people hang on to a lot of email, so that just eats up processing power. But that's where we're at. What we've discovered also is that the current Exchange server, the one that we can't access via Outlook, is continuing to process email. It's sending and receiving and dispersing to everyone's inbox as it should be. You just can't get through it via Outlook or Outlook web access right now. So as soon as the mailboxes are all migrated to the new one, we'll have to get a new real-world security certificate from Interest for the new server, and that'll all be taken care of. As your mailbox comes back online, you won't even, it'll seamlessly open when you open Outlook. And if you want to go back to your office and give it a try, if you click on Outlook and it opens up, then you've been migrated.
You do get a box on there to check off
On the security, on the certificate. And that'll be taken care of again when we get the new certificate issued. That'll be in a day or two. Takes a little bit for them to verify that you and you really do own this server, even though they've done it now for the last 4 or 5 years in a row every year, but whatever.
What about mobile devices? Would automatically update those as well?
Once we get the new certificate, yes, sir. It will resync with your phones, mobile devices.
Just put your password in again.
Probably won't even have to do that.
Okay.
The other thing we talked about was many of us have way too much old email. We do have a system for archiving all email. So maybe some sort of limitation on what a box can have in it, so you don't have so much migration to do. You all are gonna look into whether that would be any form of a fix or not.
Yes, sir. That would definitely help, because, I mean, although it'll do it, it's not it's not a file cabinet. It's not designed to be a filing cabinet. That's what it winds up getting used for. They did it in the Air Force. They do it other places. It's just, kind of the nature of the beast.
What should we be holding, George?
Sir?
How many should we be, what's a large amount?
I would say anything over about 3-4 gigabytes of email is a large amount.
Okay.
Some people have, a couple hundred gigabytes of email in their mailbox, and, with email going back to 2004, I'm not gonna name any names, Mr. Hampton.
Do we just need to delete them and let Data Cove catch them? Is that
Yes,
what
sir.
happens?
Yes, sir. Yep.
It's not as hard on the system that way, and they can be retrieved if we had to find something?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I try my best to delete all I can, but
Well,
it's
didn't
hard here
know
at the
we were-
county to
I
get
thought
through
it
all
was
of them.
managed. I thought it really managed them. I didn't know I was really supposed to. So just junk is all I'll ever delete. I don't delete other.
And I can get a report, and I used to do that. Then we got the new server, had a whole lot more disk space on the new server, so it wasn't really an issue. Until now, when you have to transfer everything over to your upgrade.
I see.
So,
It would cost
of the data.
Why, George, does my laptop here, why does it have email coming to it and my phone won't?
Because of the security certificate. We'll have to get the security certificate issued for the new Exchange server and installed, and then that'll solve the problem with your phone.
Okay.
And that's a little bit of a, probably a 2, possibly 3-day process to get that rolling,
Okay.
or to get that finished, actually. Get it rolling in about 10, 15 minutes. But it's got to go through the verification process with the issuer, certificate issuer.
George, can I ask, is it cheating to migrate on just a random basis, or is there any way we can get like the benefits email with all the payroll coming this week? We haven't been able to receive any emails. On mine personally, I'm able to receive but not send. And some of my accounts on archive disappeared for a little bit, but they've come back.
They'll be back, yeah.
So, with every department sending in payroll stuff, we don't have everyone's requests or changes or anything else to do this week's payroll. I mean, we have most of them, don't get me wrong, but most people.
And people will get paid, mate, let me just.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Well, I started migrating, did myself first, just test it, make sure it worked. Went fine. Started migrating the elected officials next. Then all the appointed officials. And then did alphabetically A, B, and C. Actually migrated the auditor's office. And most of y'all migrated. There were some that failed. And you get failures, it's no big deal. You just, do it again. But I started this morning, as calls are coming in, I started doing like adult probation as a group, the different lawyers as a group, investigators, things like that, the courts, because some of the judges didn't migrate, so I've started that process again. So, and it's just a matter of it working through the emails. So, that's where we're at.
Well, I appreciate the amount of time you all put in that during late hours and through the weekend.
Yes, sir. And we were able, just changing gears at the LEC, we went out there last week, and they installed, or pre-installed the all-in-ones, and majority of the phones are going in the jail area. So I think we still have some left to do, but most of that's already in place. So.
Will attorneys be able to converse with their clients from
They
their offices?
will, but that's on a different system.
Okay,
Yes, sir. That's part of the
GTL.
GTL.
okay.
Is the GTL the iPad rental deal?
I believe it is.
Global
Okay.
Intelligence, they provide
Yeah.
remote phone service, and
Yeah.
now some.
There's a lot of,
enhanced services.
there's a lot of services out there for inmates. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a pretty,
We're
it's a
hoping
pretty
to have a
elaborate system.
Better inmate.
Hmm?
We're hoping to have a better inmate.
Better class A inmate?
I don't know that they really care what the conditions are when they're making that decision.
Yeah, I doubt that's in their metrics. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Commissioner Beach, anyone?
Yeah, tonight's pause for the pledge for Flag Day at 6 p.m. at Memorial Stadium. Just
That's a cool
a
deal.
get together for everybody just to say the pledge of allegiance to our great flag. Attended that last year, and it was a well-attended event. looking forward to it again this year.
Did everybody go out on the field, Mark?
No, it's
Parking
back,
lot.
it's at the north end of the stadium where the flagpole is.
Oh,
And,
okay.
there's a memorial there, so.
Okay.
So, be going there this evening. The Union soldier buried in our cemetery got some press yesterday. That story continues to unfold. I guess his great-grandson's gonna be in town tomorrow, and I hope to get to visit with him and learn more about a very interesting, that not only was involved in the Irish potato famine, the Civil War, the Indian Wars. He's also a friend of Frank and Jesse James, according to the newspaper. So,
He couldn't get along with anybody.
yeah, he was apparently quite a character, so interested to see what the rest of that history unfolds, so. It seems like he arrived at about the same time as Judge Barr was, and what my understanding from talking to Bob Hampton, Judge Barwise was also in the Invalid Corps following the Battle of Vicksburg, so it's quite possible that they were together as original settlers of Wichita County as a result of being dismissed from regular duty. So, who knows? Very interesting, though.
Yeah. Commissioner Finnegan.
Precinct's going pretty good, I hope. We did jump out there this morning. We are on the road mowing. So any of my people that are listed, there's been a lot of concern because of our milling. We've been putting off mowing, but we are mowing as hot and heavy as we can right now. So people will be glad about that because we have some neck high bar ditches.
Yeah. And it's
So-
just hard when we're all tied up like it is. It's just hard, especially this time of year.
When the ditches are full of water, it's kind of hard to mow.
It sure is. We've been hanging over a little bit, trying to get some of this cleaned up that we're gonna mill, and that's been pretty tricky. It just seems to really keep on raining enough to make it soft.
So
I feel for you.
we're on the road trying.
Commissioner Mauldin.
Judge, we're seeing a lot of additional road damage, some of it brought on by, I think, the extreme cold freezing weather. Certainly didn't help process any, but a lot of it's just moisture infiltration, and you get these heavy loads on it, and they're beginning to come apart in places. I looked at quite a few this weekend. I've got Jerry's out looking at some this morning, that just trying to keep them in as best shape we can, because once they break and then you get additional moisture on them, you've got a bigger failure than what you do. So
And Barry, on that note, Klossner talked to me Friday. He watched them mill some out there, and he said, you know, that was his comment. We were too soft, it was too wet underneath that.
it's just soft, and we're getting these dense loads on them right now. They're hauling weed out and just a lot heavier traffic on these roads than they were really ever built for. And gosh, we gotta have the commerce, we gotta move the product, there's no doubt, but it's taking its toll. So try to bear with us, and we'll try to keep it safe. And we get chip sealing going, that'll heal a bunch of it. There's gonna be a bunch of patching to be done also, because once it gets started, it'll just come completely unraveled. Every rain runs in instead of runs off, and that makes it all the worse. So out there working on it. We're gonna try to get the mowing project going, but the thing of it is, guys, you gotta be patient. You get out there and mow in the ditch and stand full of water, you'll make a bigger mess than you've got right now. So it's a really fine line, but I'm not complaining about the rain. Don't ever complain about the rain. I still remember when it didn't, and that's worse. So we'll get it done. We'll get caught up. But July's coming. We need to get the chipper running, and that's going to be the next push. So just lots of work to be done, guys. It's been tough out there the last few days with that high humidity and 90s. I don't know about everybody else, it's sure hard on a fat man. Sweat running in your
Oh,
eyes.
it's
is not
wringing
very
wet,
good.
no time flat. It's
Yeah, it
wringing
happened
wet.
overnight. Well, we've been very fortunate. We actually had a spring this year, and we hadn't seen one in a long time, and, just, trying to get it all covered. Busy schedule out there right now.
Yes, I'll give you an update on how our building's coming. It's really looking good. Those service windows really open up that lobby area and make it look a little more service oriented, I think. And the guys are doing a great job and making progress. I've got David putting together some supplements that I need to bring and approve. Just one of the issues we got into in Kenny's office, we moved some electricity out of the way for the service window, and he was tracing them back, and the breaker box is hot. And so that's scary. And he said, the guy we got to come investigate said that, that really should have been all one wiring, and it's not number 3, I think. It's just, so as much stuff as we've got plugged in, Stacy and Kenny both are, they've got lots of apparatuses that they have to rely on, and they just, so I'm certain it's a certain breaker's more than the other. We're trying to get our flooring situated, which won't go in till towards the end, but Judge, you had mentioned something about security funds. What do I need to investigate there, or is that just something that I'd ask Willie when we consider?
Yeah, well, I think Matt can give you the guidelines on the use of courthouse security funds. It has to be used for security updates, so any monitoring equipment, cameras, that kind of thing. That would do, upgrading of the alarm system, like that.
There's also a JP security fund.
Yeah.
About 47,000.
Okay, so we could use some of that for this opening. Would that be JP funds where we give more visibility and things to?
Those windows and stuff would probably fall under that security fund. Because that's a security issue. You're not bringing them into your office, you're working through a window, so.
Yeah, and
I think it would probably.
What was occurring, Matt, is we couldn't see people coming in the front door, and until they're in your office door, you didn't know who you're dealing with.
But that would only count with, I would think the tax side of that would not count.
That's
The JP side of it.
Yes, and so, and the JP4 has only collected so much since 2004, so they have their allocation. We've looked for guidance on, because before the state allowed all of the JPs to collect that fee. So JP 11 and 12 could collect that fee, but since they're located in the courthouse, they have no use of that fee. They statutorily cannot use those funds. So we've looked out for additional guidance on that, on if those monies can just then be
Transfer.
used used for all the substations.
What about any of the body cam type stuff for their, I don't know whether that would be applicable in the courtroom, that they have those on when they come in to bailiff duty for.
Yeah, I
Might
would
be a
think so.
stretch, but it might be.
Yeah, I'd have to read the statute and see.
Yeah.
But Matt, I was amazed when I looked at the fee structure settlement that we get, how close 2, 3, and 4 are, and that kind of was a shocker to me, really. When Judy is over here magistrating or doing it, Judge, as a administrative JP, do we get those monies? Is that signed to Precinct 4 because she's doing them, or would they be signed to the precinct they're supposed to be in?
So it depends on what it is. So if she's just doing central magistrate duty, then it's going directly back to the general fund monies, because those fees are then subsequently charged to us out of the attorney fees and all those other type of fees. And then it just washes it out. Any JP fees, yes, it would go back to her department, or be a revenue too.
But she's doing magistrate, unfortunately, we can't charge people to be magistrate, so there's no revenue there.
Yep.
Dave's coming. We'd be glad to have the boss.
Yeah.
But if she actually is handling cases, then that might, it depends on which numbers assigned to her.
Right.
Okay, anything else, sir?
No, I think that's all I have.
Well, we had a good meeting in most of the 11 counties included in North Texas County Judges. It's called an association, but there's nothing formal about it other than we try to get together, discuss common issues, things, problems. But Judge Jackson asked for a young man named Austin McCarthy to come from Texas Association of Counties. And he is the project guy for dealing with the American Response Act. And we sent him home with a truckload of questions. He'll be interesting to see when he comes back. But they are, if you can relate an improvement to public buildings to COVID, and I ran by him, I did a bigger elevator and more space, but, you know, I got a chuckle, but nobody thought. And everyone was very cautious in the idea of the spending, and then finding out later that while it looked like it was eligible expense, it wasn't an eligible expense, and then you have to pay it back.
The Zoom rooms that we are building on the first floor
Yes,
should
I would think.
I believe that would be an eligible.
That's enhancing communication.
Yeah.
But broadband upgrades are still, like if Mickey and Mark and Barry were to get upgrades, we could do that.
I think so, yeah.
I think that might be something very beneficial to y'all in the long run. We apparently don't have what we need.
What about jury assembly, since we're building a facility socially distanced that we don't have right now?
It's one of those things, kind of the feeling was the other day, they're thinking we're gonna eventually have somebody assigned that you can call and ask these things to. But what they're looking at is you build it, you claim that money, but you have the availability to transfer funds and cover it if it's denied.
Yeah.
So,
I would think that one might be ineligible, because right now we're stacked on the hallway.
yeah. No, I think that's got a good possibility to it. I'd be willing to try it as long as the auditor's willing to try it, we approve that. But it's still really uncharted. What I love is they've got a term out now, the final interim draft of rules is out, but they're not gonna release the ones that come for public comment until July, and then those are not gonna receive final approval until November, but they allow a public comment period, and then they bring them back in, review the comments, and then they're supposed to come out the first part of November with what the rules are gonna be from the U.S. Treasury Department.
Or Matt, is there a issue or problem with both softwares when they're fully implemented? Will there be a power drain on us that, you know, Judge, how we were migrating all those files over at nighttime when the courthouse closed, and it was a drain on the system. We couldn't do it during operating hours, and we had to do it after hours. And when you're fully implemented, will that be a burden on us?
No, sir. So Munis is completely cloud driven. So everything is hosted and the backup is ran online and kept on their servers and all that. So it's not gonna take up anything else than what we're doing right now.
Yeah, it should be. In fact, it's gonna be so much faster, it ought to be less. So, and, you know, it could prove that over a period of time, we don't need as many people doing that kind of work, so there might be fewer people using it. But I think it's also going to increase as we see departments able to access and use their information, which is going to be one of the big pluses to it. That is going to use up more bandwidth doing that. But our intra bandwidth is very good. It's getting from there out to the rest of the world is where we've got to look at. And Webfire has increased that. We may have to look at that increasing more. Yes. At any rate, I will share with you all his contact information if you run across things. But I did mention to the thing the kitchen has proposed, kind of to us, is going to come and give us a more detailed briefing. He thought hands down that was a good 2-year project. And so there may be some others out there that we want to consider in that. The water project, that we did some working with either our local water suppliers or with the city of Wichita Falls on the Bryan Lake thing. The common theme was it made too much sense for them to turn it over to the city of Wichita Falls, if that would just be an impossibility to get the government to think that was a good idea. Instead of mothballing all that valuable infrastructure. We do have budget sessions. Is there anyone scheduled to come this afternoon? Do you all want to reconvene at 1:30? Is there anything you want to go through?
I think that'd be, Willie's got some good information put together. I think it'd be good, Judge, to hear this,
Okay. All right.
get everybody thinking on the same.
Okay. Then we'll plan on reconvening at 1:30. That session will not be sent out by videos. There will not be any voting items in that.
I'll listen to the tapes, and so I really need to be.
You need to,
Yeah.
What's the rest of the week shaping up like? Have
We don't
changed?
have budget stuff, do we, Nancy?
Not added anything?
No,
Okay.
Friday, we may
Have a Friday session?
look at capital items.
Okay.
Okay. I do want to announce that we do plan to go into executive session pursuant to section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code, Consultation Attorney to receive advice from legal counsel pertaining to pending litigation, a settlement offer, and are pursuant to the duty of the attorney to the client and the Texas Legislative Rules of Professional Conduct for the state of Texas. Under Texas Open Meeting Act as follows relating to cause number D-1-GN-1A-0000901, Wichita County, Texas, and the state of Texas, acting by and through the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, a necessary and indispensable party versus Wells Fargo Bank, North America, now pending in Travis County, Texas. The time is 11:18, and I'd ask to clear the courtroom other than those parties involved.
Try to have a good day.